When it comes to shaping your sourdough bread, there are lots of different ways to do it. And again, this comes down to experimenting and finding out which method works for you. I often have done my sourdough on a floured surface, and I just recently the other day watched a video on how to do it on a slightly wet surface using wet hands and a wet bench scraper to stretch out the dough. I then roll up my dough after folding it in half, and we'll form it into the typical sourdough bowl. I have made both sourdough bowls in Dutch ovens, and I also have used the double loaf pan method to create what looks more like a typical loaf of bread. We really enjoy the loaf pan method because the bread that it produces is shaped differently and is easier for my toddler to eat, whereas the bread from the sourdough bowl, because of the way the crust is, I don't know, it's just harder for him. You can see here that I'm shaping this bowl using a push and pull method to create tension. And before you spend money on bannetons or other fancy sourdough tools, see if you can use things at home that you already have. For the double loaf pan method, I shape my bread into a log rather than a bowl. Regardless of which shaping method I've chosen, I do put my dough into the fridge overnight after shaping it, and I bake it the next morning. For scoring the dough, I've found that scoring when the dough is cold is much easier. So the morning I want to bake, I will usually pull it out of the fridge while the oven is preheating and go ahead and score it. Then to bake, I cover my loaf for the first 30 minutes, whether in a Dutch oven or whether in a loaf pan, in which case I use a second loaf pan on top. And after that first 30 minutes of baking covered, I will go ahead and remove the cover and bake another 13 to 15 minutes. I'm trying to achieve a nice golden look on top and an internal temperature of 200 degrees. In the end, no matter what recipe you use and no matter what your bread looks like when it comes out of the oven, if it's edible, you're feeding your family something fresh and healthy that you made with your own two hands.